Hello and welcome to the Making Musical Quantum Leaps podcast, where we're here to support you in taking your singing skills to the next level. I'm your host, Coach Worship, and I'm thrilled to have my co-host, Jamie, with me.
In this podcast, we'll take you on a 30-day podcast marathon, teaching you everything you need to know about diction for singers. Diction is the art of pronouncing words clearly and expressively, using your voice parts to make sound and speech.
Diction is essential for singers as it helps you share your message, emotions, and style with your audience. Each day, we will explore a different topic related to diction, such as vowels, consonants, syllables, stress, intonation, accent, dialect, and more. We will also give you practical tips and exercises to improve your diction and singing performance.
By the end of this podcast marathon, you will have a better understanding of how your voice works and how to use it effectively. So join us on this exciting journey of learning and singing. You can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify or on any other listening platforms. You can also follow us on Twitter at the Making Musical Quantum Leaps podcast, or email us at joinedenSchoolofSounds@gmail.com if you have any questions or feedback.
Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. If you're just listening to this, whatever time you're listening to this, I am Simi. I just want to talk about this particular topic that has been on my mind. After diction, what is next? After diction, what is next? Yes, then I want you to understand that diction, this aspect of diction that we've been treating for a very long time now, I think from the beginning of November. Diction is just one part of the major techniques that you need to know and build yourself in as a singer. Let me repeat myself. Diction is one part, or enunciation, anyone you want to call it. Diction is one part of the major fundamental and basic aspects of singing that you need to develop yourself if you want to become a great singer. Meaning that if diction is one part, then there are other parts that you need to develop yourself well in. Yes, now you need to understand that singing is very, very wide and vast. Singing is very, very wide and vast. Yes, the many variables that make up for great singing, there are so much, but there are major aspects. There are major things that you can build in. When you build in these things and you develop yourself in these areas, this major aspect, then you can be confident and sure that you are going to become a great singer. You're going to come out with a beautiful voice. Yes. So now the issue with so many singers now is the fact that they just decide to take a portion out of all those major aspects that make up for great singing. And what they do is that they just develop themselves in that particular portion while neglecting every other aspect. They just neglect every other aspect. This is not good enough. This is not good enough. Let me give you an example. Now, you see so many people, they want to, because they heard somebody did some riff sounds, so they'll be like, okay, I want to learn this riff sounds. And so they neglect every other aspect of their voice. They neglect tonality, they neglect registers. They don't even know anything about transitions. They don't know anything about their falsetto, their head voice, mixed voice. They don't know anything about timing and rhyme reading. So they just neglect every other aspect, and then they just go for riff sounds. And then they try it. First week, second week, oh boy, this thing is not looking like what it should sound like, and they just give it up. They just give it up like that. Why? The reason is because riff sounds is just like an icing on the cake. It's just like an icing on the cake. Just like as if when you have rice, you have fried rice, a mixture of rice and jollof rice and fried rice. Then you have chicken. That chicken is just like riff sounds. It's an icing on the cake. It's not the main food. Do you understand? There are so many other major areas that when you build yourself, then riff sounds will be an advantage. Like I said, there are some major areas that you need to build yourself in, and you have to be balanced in this aspect so that you can achieve a great singing, and you can achieve a great singing voice. So diction is just what? A part, a subset of these things, of this aspect. Now let us look at some of them. We have tonality. Tonality. Let's start with that. Tonality is when you develop your voice. You develop a rich tone. You have a rich tone. You have a rich voice. That even without any dynamics, is your voice still beautiful? Is your voice still unique? Is it pleasing to people's ear? Can people hear your voice without any dynamics now? Without any techniques? Can people hear your real voice, your original voice, and still be like, wow, this is beautiful? Yes, tonality. So these are major areas, fundamental, the basics of singing. Yes. So for you to work on your tonality, then you need to work on different registers, ranges of your voice. So register is also a very important one. Voice register is very important one. We have the chest voice, the head voice, the mixed voice, falsetto. We have the vocal fry also. So these are like various sections of the voice. So ranging from the deep one, from the low, then moving. At the time, as you begin to when you begin to go low and you begin to ascend, you notice that when you get to a point and it actually changes. Then from there, you get to another point, you've gotten to another page, like another face, then you go to another point again as you ascend higher and higher. And these sections are actually classified and categorized into different form of registers. Yes. So another thing again to note, another major technique or major basics fundamental that you need to understand is transitions now is moving from one register to another. So you can move from a chest voice to head voice, and coming back from a head voice down to a chest voice. Transitions is a very, very important voice technique, and a major one that you need to develop and work on. What about breath control, breath management is a very, very major voice technique that you also need to work on, because it's every air that you let out from within that produces every sound that you want to make. And so the basics and the foundation of every voice is working on the dynamics of your breath, how you are able to make use of your breath. So it's very important that you actually work on and develop this aspect. You see, some people, they cannot sustain a note for a very long time. Some people, they have a problem trying to sing. Yes, they can't even sing loud, they can't project their voice. So all these things are I prove that there is a deficiency in some major areas of singing. So we have the aspect of posture also. The way you position your body, the way you position every part that is supporting the voice that is coming out from within. It's very important. Posture, as simple as it is, so many singers, they have a problem with it. In fact, so many singers don't know the right posture to sing. They don't know the right posture to be able to sing in a particular way. So posture is a very major singing technique that is fundamental and basic that you need to develop it. Then we have vocal agility. the power, the amount of control that you have over your voice. The amount of control that you have over your voice. Then we have some other voice techniques, some other basic singing techniques like riffs and runs, vibrato, what again? We have resonance, we have yodeling. Yodeling is actually when you switch registers, So we have a lot of them. But these ones that I actually talked about are some of the major ones that you actually need to work on. Let me just recap. I said tonality, work on your tonality, your tone, a rich tone. Work on your agility. Yes, the amount of control and the power you have over your voice. Work on your registers. Yes, work on your registers, work on your transitions. Transitions, the switch between registers. Work on your breath control, the ability to sustain notes, and the ability to be able to support the voice that is coming from within. Then work on other major aspects of singing also. So you need to know that as you are developing in one area, you are also developing in other aspects. Don't just leave those aspects ignored, then you just develop on one aspect only. No, it will lead to an unbalanced singing. So if you really want to achieve a great singing and you really want to become that singer that sings with dexterity, yes, that sings so flawlessly, then you need to focus on each and every of these major vocal techniques. So what's next after diction? Other major aspects, other major basics of singing. So this is where we'll stop for today. We'll see you next time.
That will be all for today, which happens to be the 23rd day of our podcast marathon, which means we have 7 days to the end of this and also 7 days to the end of November. Christmas is around the corner. Oh my gosh. Anyways, that aside, you must agree with me, or you have to agree with me, that this has been educative and insightful and impactful, no doubt. I have a few questions for you. What do you plan to do with the knowledge you already have? How do you plan to use it? How do you plan to turn this potential energy you already have to something meaningful and something useful that can work for you? Have you also set goals for yourself? Say, okay, now I know what I've been doing wrong. Now I know what I've not been doing the right way, and I'm going to try to unlearn them. So from this time to this time, I'm going to try my conscious best and my possible best to learn things the proper way. Have you also told yourself you're going to start making researches, and when you hear things, you're not just going to run with it? What are the things you've set in place to actually put what you know into use? Think about it, and we'll talk about your action plan later tonight in the community. If you've not followed us on Spotify or on whatever listening platform you use, I really do not know what you're waiting for. And if also you don't like the episode as you listen, please, what is it? What are you waiting for also? Our song for the day is Cabo by Dunsin. I can't pronounce his surname, but by Dunsin. And before I wrap this up, I feel to tell somebody that you shouldn't give up, okay? I don't know what it is you're going through. I don't know what phase of life it is that you're passing through, but every problem has a solution, and you're going to come out of this. Do not give up, and do not tell yourself you can't, because you can. You are amazing, and you are unique, and your voice is for you, and it's the instrument only you can play. So don't let anybody put you down today, and do not give up, okay? Keep your head up high and try to keep your head above the waters. You're going to make it through, trust me. For me and Coach Worship and everybody at the MMQO podcast team, it's bye, and we'll catch you tomorrow.